What is up, guys? Godswilla back again. I told y'all last night that I would be doing NXT, the review, and this is coming right after the show. I got my page and a half notes here. This show was just full of okay wrestling, and that was really it. There was only one big headline in this show, and we'll get to that. We will get to that. So, if you thought Monday Night Raw and SmackDown was redundant by having people arrive to work, and that's how we just start the show, don't even think for a second that we're gonna get anything different on NXT. No. It's people arriving to work because we can't start a captivating story to hook people for the rest of the show. That'd be using common sense and logic and keeping your viewers interested. That would require creativity. And that's something the suits and ties in this company are willing to put zero effort into it. But for the first segment, Javon Evans is out there with Laredo Kid, and they were going to cut a promo about their match at Worlds Collide it's this Saturday. It's like, it's Saturday early. I will not be covering Worlds Collide. I'll be covering Money in the Bank, just to be clear. But before they could even do anything, Ethan Page comes out next. Ethan Page pretty much complains that he has to defend his title at Worlds Collide and then defend his title in occurring matches before because he didn't agree to those terms. The former champion Ricky Saints did. And then some Evolve guys come out. Vanity Project. And it seems that Ethan Page might be forming a faction with these guys. No idea. But, and then a brawl starts. And, yeah. So, and that's the first segment, guys. I'm not missing anything. There's nothing I didn't include, guys. That was the first segment of the night, and call me harsh, I don't care. But that's just a lackluster way to start a show. They're lucky that if I didn't have to do this review, that I would just tune right out. But boy, did what happened next made me want to tune out quicker than as the What's Up / R-Truth chant started. Oh yeah, the R-Truth chants, they didn't go away. They were in this show too, and I'm so proud. It's good to see. It's good to see people are showing appreciation for R-Truth. But like I said in the other video, they released him. It was retarded, but what can you do? But next up, we have Chase U versus Dark State. And before I get to Dark State, I'm going to talk about Chase U and Andre Chase. Andre Chase's character, when he's doing a university character, it was peak. It was great. Back in the good old days of Chase U with Thea Hale and, was it Duke Hudson, right? Yeah, Duke Hudson. Those days were peak. It was a good thing to look forward to, and look forward to in a show that probably was going to be mediocre. But most NXT has mostly been decent to good. But recently, it seems like Paul Triple H Levesque is booking these shows, and Shawn Michaels is locked in the closet and can't do anything. But you never really know. This match was... I looked away for a second to take a drink and Dark State's pinning one of the guys that are teaming with Andre Chase, and Dark State wins. And now let me get into Dark State. This is Retribution vibes. This is Retribution vibes. And I'm telling y'all, it's Retribution vibes. And you want to know why? And they have the... It's like they're imitating the Wyatt Six. Watch the show. They have the graphics pop up like it's the Wyatt Six. You're not the Wyatt Six, dog. You're not that. You're not those guys. Dark State is channel changing TV. It's done. It's Retribution. It's the Temu version of Retribution. Like, oh my God, it's so... Thank God this match was like 3 minutes and we got that shit done with. Ugh. So, next up we got Trick Williams backstage. Basically talking about his main event match that we'll get to in a bit with Mike Williams and how he's going to retain the TNA. Sorry, you see, this is weird. You have a WWE guy as the TNA champion. Well, on paper, it can be good, but I just can't comprehend what they're trying to do with this. It's almost like, because we obviously know WWE is going to eventually buy TNA. It's pretty much set in stone. But the weirdest thing is, every time we saw Joe Hendry wrestle a match, he showed up at the Royal Rumble, got thrown out by Roman Reigns in 2 minutes. As soon as Roman came out, he was done. It was GG's. It was over. Then he goes to WrestleMania to wrestle Randy Orton, and it was a squash match, essentially. Well, he got some moves in, but then it was like a quick RKO loss. But losing to Randy Orton on that stage when he's just got there, essentially, I didn't mind that. That Randy Orton needed that win. He's going after John Cena. Yeah. What I won't tolerate is just having Trick Williams beat him for the TNA World Championship. It's almost like a WCW thing. When WWE bought WCW back in the day, they destroyed what little prestige, what relevance it had. And they did the same thing to ECW when they bought it. And now the same thing is happening to TNA. And it's tragic. They just want the TNA guys to job out to their precious WWE guys, and it's kind of crazy. But we'll get into the main event later on. So now we get a rounds match. We get a rounds match with Charlie Dempsey and Miles Bourne. Okay. So Miles Bourne is coming off when he became Superman against Obafemi in his first time trying to get a title. Dog, I understand you gotta make new talent relevant, but what they did to Obafemi, that was crazy. How is Obafemi struggling against a Miles Bourne? And no disrespect to the kid. He has potential. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to be great. But you got this big 6'5", 250 guy around there. Obafemi. Big guy. And it was 20-something minutes, I'm pretty sure. He's struggling to beat him. I can't comprehend it. But this is a weird match. So it's like a MMA, UFC, boxing kind of thing where it's like there's like a timer and then you sit in between rounds. So essentially UFC, boxing, etc. But instead, each round there would have to be a decision If you get 2 decisions, you win. So Miles Bourne got the first decision by the fruitiest of all the roll-ups to a Charlie Dempsey, and then Charlie Dempsey cheated after the second round. It was there was no decision, so after the bell, Charlie Dempsey injured Miles Bourne's ribs, and that gave him just enough to get the second decision. So now it's 1-1, and then Miles Bourne finally beats Charlie Dempsey. And the stipulation of this match was, because they got this whole group going, the new, I don't even know what the thing is called. It's so irrelevant. Anyways, Miles Bourne just leaves the group. Like, that was the stipulation if he beat Charlie Dempsey. Yeah. Weird. So, we get a quick backstage segment with the culling. And Brooks Jensen is kicked out. I guess because it's his punishment for... Was he the guy that was pinned in that, what was it, 6-man tag? I'm pretty sure... He probably was. Yeah. Weird. Okay, whatever. Next, we got newcomer Tyra. And she is going to have her first match against Ariana Grace. This match was pretty quick, too. Tyra beats her. It's kind of, okay. Nothing really else to say here. Yeah. Backstage interview with Mike Williams next. Kind of crazy. Both of their last names for the main event are named Williams. Kind of. But, yeah. But Mike says, he's going to bring the TNA Championship back to its rightful place in TNA. I won't spoil it for when we get to that part. But, yeah. Nothing really to say here. Next up, we get JC Jane with Fatal Influence. She's going to cut her first promo as NXT Women's Championship. And let me talk about this. Last week, Stephanie Vaquer was your NXT Women's Champion. She defeated Jordynne Grace previously. No disrespect to JC Jane, right? No disrespect at all. But how are you going to defeat a Jada Parker, Jordynne Grace, a Julia, but you can't beat a JC Jane? Come on, make it make sense, people. We got to use common sense and logic here, people. JC Jane has been booked into irrelevancy. What has she done in the past few months other than job out? Tell me, please. When was the last time she won a match? Alright, I don't remember. But, whatever. So, Lane and Reed interrupt. Lola Vice interrupts then, followed by Jordynne Grace interrupting. Then Jada Parker, and then Kalani Jordan, and then Lash Legend, and then Thea Hale jumps out of nowhere and starts a brawl. But this is probably the reason why y'all clicked on the video. The arrival of Mariah May into WWE. This is probably the only thing worth talking about on this show. Even though you do have the captivating characters to tell a story. But Mariah May pretty much shows up, says she's in the mix for the NXT Women's Championship. I mean, sure. It's, you know, she wasn't booked horribly in AEW. It was just kind of odd that she beat Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship, and then like it was like a few months later she just gave it right back. But she was good for the. It was like 2 years she was in AEW, and now she's here in WWE. Yeah. This is the only noteworthy thing that happened on the show. That we're really gonna talk about. Other than, I guess, the main event, that would be the second closest thing you would talk about. But next up, we have Ethan Page and the Vanity Project backstage before their 8-man tag with Javon Evans, was Dragon Lee, Laredo Kid, and Shawn Legacy. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this match was a good tag match, I guess. I mean, I don't know what you guys want me to say about this. It's just a tag match. I don't know what else to say. All right, we get a couple of backstage. We get like 3 backstage segments. First, we get Obafemi and Jasper Troy. They're hyping up their NXT Championship match for next week. Okay, I didn't mind their interaction. I mean, they're both big dudes, got potential. Well, Jasper Troy has potential. Obafemi's kind of established already. But like I said earlier about Obafemi, that whole booking with him and Miles Bourne, it was okay. It was weird booking. But I'm not the booker. I wouldn't have booked it that way. Then we get Sol Ruka, Zarya, Tatum Paxley, and Ariana Grace. Right? Yeah. They're backstage. Sol Ruka and Zarya are telling Tatum Paxley that they're here for her and all that. I think Tatum Paxley's character actually is interesting and it has potential. But the way that it's pretty much the same backstage segment every week, just her laying down the press because every time she thinks she has a teammate, the teammate either leaves her or they get released. But, you know, it's whatever, bro. It's whatever. Tatum Paxley has the potential to be something, because I like her character. But then we get Tony D and Luca. Backstage segment. Luca tells Tony D that they are going to be in a tag match against Wes Lee's fucking group. I don't know what, something Sons or something. I don't know the fucking name. I didn't care enough to pay enough attention. Like, it's what I am worried about is how they're booking Tony D. This is weird booking. Weird booking. It's a simplistic backstage segment when we know Tony D and his family are capable of more. And going into Battleground, him and Stax was the most captivating thing for me going into the show. It was the match I was looking most forward to because they were going to tell a story. So Luca wants to prove to Tony D that he's still loyal to him. Stax and it was only these two from the D'Angelo family. The trader, the underboss, Stax wasn't on the show. After he won the match against Tony D, weird how you don't capitalize on his momentum. Very weird. He didn't have to wrestle, but he said cut a promo, continue the story, not just this simplistic stuff. man, I know they're capable of better storytelling, and it's not Tony D's fault, it's not Luca's fault, it's not Stax's fault. But they need to start picking this story up, because that match, even though I was looking forward to most, it was probably one of the weaker matches on the card. It was alright, it was decent. There was good physicality in it. But yeah, that's really all I got about this backstage segment. Tony D is probably one of my favorite characters in WWE right now. This mob boss, it's captivating. It's something to get invested in, because you know it's gonna be a story. But when they book him like this, it's weird. It's weird. Just gonna put him in a tag match. I'm assuming Stax is gonna get involved in this said tag match next week. Continue the story there, but for right here, it was all right. You know, Tony D is an amazing character. He cuts amazing promos, but that's really about it for this segment. Next up is the main event: champion of TNA, Trick Williams, versus challenger Mike Santana. Mike Santana. So this match was pretty decent, I guess. And I'm pretty sure I botched earlier and called Mike Santana Mike Williams and said that they had the same names. My bad. I botched. See, I can admit when I botched. I can take accountability for that. But sorry I butchered your name. It's Mike Santana for the TNA Championship. This match was decent. We had Elijah or Elias in the crowd. He's going to be the next challenger for whoever wins this title match. What was happening here is that Mike Santana got betrayed by Casey and AJ Francis. AJ Francis being Top Dollar, we used to know him as, or, you know, because Michael Cole wouldn't shut up about him botching that one time. That's unfortunately how I'm going to remember Top Dollar, but he's AJ Francis. They're keeping their TNA names, the guys who were from WWE, and they're showing up in this TNA partnership. I mean, sure, I can appreciate that. They betray Mike Santana, and it helps Trick Williams retain his TNA championship. Yeah. Okay. You have a story there that will probably continue on TNA Thursday, right? With Mike Santana and Casey and AJ Francis. You got that story there. You got Trick Williams going to be facing Elijah or Elias. And for the TNA Championship on Thursday? Yeah. And that was about it for this show. The show really just seemed like filler. They might be just cooking up something for next week. Filler shows and filler segments, when they're used sparingly and when they need to happen, okay, no harm, no foul. But when most of Monday Night Raws and SmackDowns are filler. There's no story development. Stories are just at standstills. Nothing really to anything. Nothing. But was this better than Raw last night? Yeah, I'd say yeah. I mean, NXT is usually better than sleep-inducing Raw. My one big negative and one big negative about this show, Dark State, it's DOA, bro. I can't stand it. It wants to be the Wyatt Six and it wants to be Retribution at the same time. It's so weird. You got the weird graphics. It's ugh. You don't want to do that. You don't want to confuse your audience by having multiple things with like graphics like that. You really don't. You really don't want to do that. You really don't want to confuse your audience like that. But anyways, guys, that is my NXT review for 6/3/25. I'll see you guys Friday night when I post my Friday Night SmackDown review. And I'll see you guys there. Peace out, y'all.